This is football primetime, where upsets happen on any given Saturday or Sunday, and some teams just suck so bad that they take 9 overtimes to lose the inevitable. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Billy, Dean, and AJ. Oh, the Jets? Well, at least they're smart to get blown out right away and didn't have to, go through all those overtimes. But how are you, boys?
Yeah, obviously the Jets, have a fantastic. No. We're not doing the Jets right away. We are absolutely going into Penn State football, and that awesome 9 overtime game that we just watched. All this talk about we softened Iowa up for you. Purdue came in right for the kill. Purdue lost 2, by the way, but.
I just disconnected Billy, Dean. I'm a jerk. I can't. I just disconnected him and making him feel so bad. He's like really about to hit me, but I'm in control because I told him I did not want to talk about anything Penn State, or else I'm going to cut off the podcast. And he's probably going to blame it on his Optimum internet. And this is the funny part. Right, AJ? Is that a jerk move?
The funny thing is, he just texted me saying, "I hate Optimum." So we'll have to keep up.
You want to fake it? Charade?
Yeah, and tell him it's his Optimum. No, but yeah, let's get into your Nittany Lions though with those 9 overtime losses. How are you feeling?
I'll tell you what, AJ. I think I'm the stupid one because when I saw 9 OTs, I didn't watch the game. I was actually recording it and watching it later. Can he not get back in? Is that his problem?
I just texted him if he's good, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I wanted to know, how do you lose in 9 OTs?
Yeah.
I want to know if Penn State is as bad as Optimum internet or not. I don't know.
No. Optimum's still the freaking worst. Altice can suck my rear. I hate this. Oh my god! Like I'm my screen over here is blanking. My TV is like blinking because I can't get enough service on this stupid thing. I swear I'm gonna hook into the telephone lines and just steal service.
Are you sure it's not like you bashing Penn State and user error? Bashing Penn State and suddenly the football gods just cut you off.
Yeah, I mean they could have been. Yeah, maybe Woo. Was it actually you? Was it you?
Of course it was. Who else would it be? Told you not to start off with Penn State.
Oh, that's good. I like that very much. If that's true.
But you can blame Optimum too,
No, Optimum could still suck it. I mean,
Optimum would have dropped you anyway. I just decided to expedite the process, right? So, but getting back to my story, so I recorded the Penn State game, and then I automatically assumed that they had won just because it's Illinois. It's like, all right, it's kind of like Rutgers in a way, but Illinois actually is a lot better than Rutgers in my opinion. And suddenly my wife tells me they lost in 9 overtimes and we had to watch it. And watching
you had to watch it.
No, we watched it thinking how do you lose in 9 overtimes? I forgot about the new rules, right? Designed for player safety, which players got hurt in overtime. And my opinion on it is the refs sucked because in the first quarter or second quarter, Penn State had a fumble, caused a fumble, and ran. Got it. Should have been a touchdown, but somehow forward progress. So the refs sucked. But you can't blame it entirely on the refs because Penn State just literally gave the game away. They were dropping passes that any 8-year-old could have made, and.
No.
Even Billy Dean can't even face the fact that, I don't know, you were turned around on the monitor. And
I was I was looking at it because I turned on to the Peyton cast, and it's Brady, it's Peyton, and it's Eli, and those three are obviously not some of my favorites, but
Maybe they're friends.
yeah, maybe they are buddies.
Well,
But yeah, I mean the
well,
9 OT game. What were you
it
saying?
was
Sam? Sorry.
stupid. The whole thing is stupid. I
Yeah.
mean, Clifford couldn't catch a pass, and and all that. I think there was a fake play to Clifford, and he just dropped it.
Yeah.
He dropped it. They just kept on dropping everything.
You know who doesn't drop fake play passes is Daniel Jones. That was a very nice catch that he had, and then he got destroyed. It looked like he had another concussion.
That was OBJ vintage kind of a catch.
Yeah, that was good.
That was nice.
No, but quickly on the 9 OT game. First of all, college, NFL adopted it where you can have ties. College should just have ties. Like, don't be dumb. Like 9 overtimes is just it's almost too much. And
but does that screw up like rankings and all that stuff? If you have a number 2 team tie unranked team, does that make them push out of that top 2 rank?
Yeah, I mean probably, but who cares, right? I mean, just make it easier on college football.
This is how they should solve it. The NFL does it pretty well. Sudden death.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the sudden death, but the whole field goal thing and whatever. I think they should just adopt entirely what the NFL does.
Yeah,
but
I think.
But if I don't know how you guys feel, but if the overtime is if the overtime has expired in college, why don't you have a kickoff?
Yeah, just keep booting it back.
Start with the 45
you probably have to start like
field goal.
I would say you probably have to go closer than that. Some of these kids, under pressure, they fail.
Can't make it. Yeah,
they're like 35 first, then 40, 45, 50, and then you go increments of like 2.
Yeah, I mean it's like the hockey's version. The kind of like the kickoff, the shootout.
No, I actually kind of like the way college does it with just all out offense. Back and forth. I personally would rather see the NFL adopt that in overtime just because it's high scoring. You're going to see, especially in the NFL, those guys should be always scoring in the red zone areas. So I'd rather see that personally, in overtime than 10 minutes of back and forth, and then you see a last second field goal, with time expiring. Like that's fun.
How about 7-on-7? No pass rush, just the center, the guy, and you just.
I mean, that'd be great, but I doubt that'll ever happen.
No, just trying to think of something ridiculous.
I got even something more ridiculous. How about like for sudden death, onside kicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, try onside kicks.
Continually onside kick. You have to just keep doing onside kicks.
I love onside kicks. That's my favorite part of the game.
They're fun.
I don't know why. Because it goes 10 yards. Now there were talks about banning all that because of injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
Onside kicks or kickoffs in general.
I mean, they get ridiculous. I mean, we're gonna go from one shitty team to another one. The New York Jets, with probably one of the worst score outcomes I've ever seen in my life as a Jet fan. 12 consecutive wins for the Patriots. 12 consecutive wins for the Patriots. 6 seasons of losing to this team before our last win. They're the first team since 1979 that the Jets allowed 54. The first time since 1979 that the Jets allowed 54 or more points. And it just made me sick, and it's embarrassing. I say this every week. I say it's embarrassing every week because it is. And the coach talks about how the offense from drives 2 to 7. They were really rolling, and the, a little couple of things happen here or there that changed the outcome of the game. They could have been 21 to 17 or something like that. What you got slaughtered. I'm looking at the thing, right? 54-13. Damian Harris, 14 carries for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. J.J. Taylor, they had 150 yards rushing total. J.J. Taylor had another 2 touchdowns. Mac Jones threw for 2. Kendrick Bourne threw for 1. They had 7 touchdowns on the game. Brandon Bolden, they couldn't cover him out of the backfield. Aguilar with the touchdown from Kendrick Bourne. Hunter Henry had a touchdown. The team can't seem to get their heads out of their rears. And, Michael Carter with the fumble where he lost it. He actually looked like he did pretty well with catching the ball 8 for 67. He actually led the Jets. There's nothing you can really say how bad this team is. It's just there's no words. And I actually wrote this in our notes. Go ahead. No, tell me.
I'll tell you how bad the Jets are. I'll tell you how bad the Jets are. The press conference with the head coach. That was he said a curse word and he sounded so nice saying it. He's like, excuse my, like so polite. Like if you're going to curse, in a press conference, drop it and don't be like Mr. Nice Guy about it. Excuse my language, but the NFL doesn't give a flying, you know what? And it's like, that did nothing. It doesn't look like you're mad. It looks like you're out of answers.
This is the coach that had a holdback guy for San Fran. Like, he had a guy that they would have to rip him back from the sidelines. Like, he showed emotion. And, maybe I just haven't watched him enough on the sidelines, but he doesn't show any emotion on this team. Or at least he's trying to crowd in. I want that guy that's fiery and is going to tell the team that they suck ass and to, get their heads out of their rears. It's continually I even wrote, are the Jets the worst team in football? Because I think they are. If you look at the teams that are in the NFL, I don't think there's one that you can say is hands down worse. I mean, this quarterback, and he's injured now. He's out 2 to 4 weeks with a strained PCL.
That hit was terrible, by the way. The first hit.
The first one was bad.
Even the second one was.
It should have been flagged. Yeah, the second one with Matthew Judon, I didn't think it was that bad, but the first one definitely should have been a penalty from Uche. I think it was the guy who tackled him. But the Dolphins at 1-6, but I still think they're better. I like their coach. I think their defense is better. I know the Tua's back, and they didn't win last game, but they won in foggy London Town. They lost in foggy London Town. They won. The game before that. So Miami, I do think is a little bit better.
The Titans. It's amazing.
Yeah, against the Titans. Jacksonville Jaguars. I know Urban Meyer sucks and he's just causing issues over there, but I do think he's a better. Their team is better. I think their quarterback's better. I like the running backs. I know one of them's hurt with Travis Etienne, but their wide receiver core I think is better, and maybe their defense can start to grow. Houston Texans might be the only team where they might realistically be worse, but at least they put up an effort, and they had, the first win against the season, and they've been kind of competitive against like the Patriots and a couple other teams. The Giants are clearly better. Philadelphia's clearly better. Detroit Lions are 0-7, but you do see their coach, their play for them. I don't really think that should be an 0-7 record, but they do stink. So what is there? 2 teams between Texans, Jets, and maybe the Lions that you're like, they're one of the worst? No, it's the Jets, because they continually clock stinkers in games that they shouldn't. You would figure that a rivalry game, your biggest rival from my perspective, you figure they would have some sort of a gumption and a will to take this team and beat them. And no, they lay an egg.
Yeah, I feel like you and I, and I'm sure every Jets fan does this, is tries to find the silver lining in this damn team. I just look at the injuries that we've had. Obviously with Wilson being another one that's injured, and us just trading for Joe Flacco when we should just resign him.
Yeah.
And,
I was just about to say that, wasting a pick.
Why not just pick up Cam Newton. Why waste a pick? Just sign a guy like them. If you're just bringing them in, as a fill-in, get somebody like that. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Wasting draft capital, even though it is a
Because
sixth,
they're
which
shitty
could potentially be a
franchise.
fifth. I mean, that's definitely frustrating. I mean, plus side, Elijah Moore scored his first touchdown.
Yeah, and it
Yay.
was a good run too. And you figured that he would actually get more run, and then they gave him 6 targets, but he only catches 1 ball after that. I, I'm at a loss for words at how bad this
Yep.
season's gotten. They're just completely off the rails, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. Jets fans looking on the way up. They got a new quarterback. Excited about him, and
Mm-hmm.
they're terrible. They're legitimately the worst. I think they are the worst team in football, and it's absolutely horrifying and tough to say because I want this team to be good, and they continually just depress you. And this whole rebuild has slowly devolved into a perfect storm where you know for 10 years we've been going at this and trying to get this team better, and for 10 years they've continually sucked. And
Same thing over and over.
it's a never-ending cycle, just different coaches and different quarterbacks. And
Yep.
when is it just a franchise, like, yeah, cursed fine, but like the owners, like, and they'll never sell the team, but sell the team, please, because like
Yep.
clearly you've done nothing to enable you've enabled this franchise to be a laughing stock, and it's just it's sad. It's just a sad state of affairs for fans of the green and white, because it just continually you have no positives on the season. And you felt the same way last year with Adam Gase, and the same year before that with Adam Gase's first turnaround. And then, Todd Bowles and that laughing stock. He had 1 year where he didn't make the playoffs. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know. You say something, because it's getting ridiculous.
No, I mean I agree. I think you pretty much summed up what it's like to be a Jets fan, day in and day out, year after year. It is terrible, and I don't even know what to say. There's no
I
words.
like that on Rich Samini on ESPN goes, all gas, no GPS, because they have no direction. And,
But it's funny too though.
the
Like I don't even blame. I mean, yes, I put blame on Salah, but at the same time, it's like it has to be this team that it's just that curse where somebody who obviously was kind of everybody kind of wanted him as a coach, just because of the way he
yeah, I did.
portrayed
Carries
himself,
himself.
with the 49ers
Yeah.
and everything like that. And like you said, at least you don't see it, and I don't see it, on the sidelines, that fire that he had in San Fran. And maybe it really is just this team, this franchise that just sucks the life out of you. Because I know it's
And
sucking the life out of us.
there were a lot of people that said, you can't. It's very difficult for a first-time offensive coordinator and a rookie quarterback, and like that. There's just so much that you have to do, and so much you have to put on your shoulders to get things right. And you know, maybe that's the case. And I said it from the beginning. I didn't think that getting rid of Darnold was a good idea, but even if it was Darnold with LaFleur, maybe it's a little better than this. But
Yeah.
just it's continual. And Salah was doomed to fail because it's this goddamn team. And it just, there's a perfect storm element at work. And the Jets play Zach Wilson, he gets injured. Mike White comes in, he actually looked serviceable for a minute, and then he throws a shitty pick. And they had a first time linebacker starting, and then he gets hurt too, in Sherwood. And Bill Belichick and his giant brain is going to slaughter anybody who
Yep.
does, has that kind of
Always.
talent. So I don't know.
Well,
It's depressing, and it's sad, and it's embarrassing.
on a plus side,
Let's talk about something good.
Alvin Kamara just scored. A little
Ooh,
Jameis
AK.
Winston touchdown pass to Alvin Kamara. So there you go.
I like that. I need
191
that for
yards
fantasy.
on the
So
day
it was
receiving.
what?
He's 109 yards receiving on the day so far.
Good.
So
Keep going, AK-47.
not bad.
Actually, he's not 47. Is he 47? I can't remember. What number is
42.
he? That's no 41. Yeah, actually, Brady and the Mannings are talking about it right now. Um, are the Titans? So we talked about the worst team. Are the
Yep.
Titans the best team in football? They just
No.
consecutive wins over the Bills and the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. Obviously, the other teams having the case, right? The Bucks, the Bills, the Cards, the Rams, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Packers. But Titans are rolling, and Derrick Henry, I think he had 27 carries for like 90 something yards or 80 something yards. Um, but even
He
when
had
he's not
more
going, finally, what?
he had more touchdown passes than Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, he had one to Mahomes 0 after he got hurt.
Yep.
Um, we'll get into Mahomes in a little bit, but uh, the Titans defense bangs you up. Their offense bangs you up. You have big time wide receivers and AJ Brown, Julio, who hasn't had a great season, but he's still a constant threat and someone you have to worry about. Tannehill had a better game, and they put a smack in on the Chiefs, and I
Yeah.
just think that they're rolling right now, and they have a claim to be one of the tops in that division. Well, to be the tops in the Division A, but to maybe be one of the tops in the AFC. Um, I like them. I just they've made some moves to say that they're contenders, and it's pretty good.
Don't get me wrong, I think they are a good team, but I think this game is more about the Kansas City Chiefs and how bad that they have been.
Yeah.
I think that
All
whole
right.
offense has been in shambles. That defense, I mean, is god awful. Um, it's that offense though that you thought was going to be, you thought this team could go potentially 17-0, 16-1, something like that this year, and
Mm-hmm.
they are just game after game, just kind of duds. I mean, I think that's the big thing coming out of this, out of this game is them because the Titans with Derrick Henry, Tannehill has been, I think okay this year. He hasn't had the weapons in AJ Brown and Julio Jones with them kind of being a little injured here and there. Um, but like you said, that defense has been pretty good. It's been pretty good for the past couple of years, but I think it's this is all on the Chiefs and how bad that they've played, and it's something that I didn't think, or I don't think, or anybody thought we'd see the Chiefs kind of
No,
come out like this.
they have
Um,
major holes.
yep, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um. So Buffalo 4-2. Um.
hmm
The rest of the division fine. New England Patriots 3-4. Cincy 5-2. Baltimore also 5-2, but Cincy with the big win. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Um. Tennessee at 5-2, clearly leading that division. Indy's at 3-4. Vegas Raiders are now in sole possession of first with LA losing. With LA not playing.
hmm
Vegas 5-2. You have KC at 3-4, and then the Broncos also 3-4. But I don't think the Broncos are where that is.
yeah.
Dallas clearly the head of the class at 5-1. In that NFC Beast.
Just looking at that record, those records are just terrible.
Yeah, bad. 2-5 for Washington, Philly, and New York. Green Bay at 6-1. Tampa at 6-1, and then finally Cardinals 7-1, or sorry, 7-0, and then the Rams at 6-1. I know the Cardinals record says 7-0, and I do believe that they're a legit contender. Um, but I think out of the AFC, I wouldn't be surprised to say Tennessee Titans as your AFC champions. Like I wouldn't. I
Eh,
think that there's a
really?
lot of parity in the AFC.
No, see, I still think it's Buffalo, and it's either gonna be Cincy or the Ravens. I mean, this Cincy looks,
I like
like the
Cincy
real deal.
and Sexy
I
Rexy.
God,
Rex Ryan said that he thought that Burrow was or had a lot of traits of Brady, and
that's that's not a bad one to be compared to.
yeah
That's for sure. No, I mean, I like Tennessee. I think that they'll get into the divisional round. Um, but I like Buffalo still.
yeah.
And how can you not like Cincy after what they just did to the Ravens?
I like him
Um,
a lot.
the
Jamar
Titans
Chase is
lost.
so
I
good.
mean, I know any team can beat any team, but the Titans lost to the Jets. Come on,
Yeah,
like
that's a
after
bad one.
everything, like that's a bad loss there. Um,
Goddamn Jets.
and I still don't know what to think of the Raiders. I mean, they've been playing great, but I
For
just feel
Basikia,
like I just feel like though they're it's just gonna happen one week where they're just gonna turn that switch and then just be the Raiders that we're kind of used to seeing. Um, I mean,
yeah,
I think I still like the Chargers in that
Chargers, yeah.
division to come out.
And even KC, I could see them going on a 9-0 run and going 12-4, or even if they went 8-1 or 7-2, and kind of squeezing in on that backdoor playoffs. I still would think that I would be worried about that offense. Um, yeah, it's just I thought it was
Yeah.
a good question to ask. Um, we what do you want to get into actually? Do you want to talk about Stafford and the Lions return?
No, yeah. I mean, we can get it. Also, like, I thought a lot of the games this weekend weren't the greatest. To be honest with you, just scoring wise, there was a lot of you know, blowouts. I feel like, um, but I did think that Rams Lions game was pretty good at first. Just trying to scrolling down to it. Well, my little notes. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought the Lions have been playing great. Great football. I feel like they've just been unlucky with a lot of their little turnovers or just have had bad luck.
Yeah,
Late in games. I thought Goff played decently in the first half. Obviously, he had two interceptions. That cost him the game, but I
yeah.
thought he
Jalen
played.
Ramsey won.
Yeah, I thought he played all right though. I mean, he does have to be better. I mean, DeAndre Swift is an animal.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on the Jets. Uh, I mean, a great overall
Don't ask.
offensive team win.
Yeah, don't ask for such nice things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
I mean
Swift,
Robert.
13 carries, 48 yards, and then with the big, receiving 8 for 96 in the touchdown. Very good.
I mean Cooper Cup with the two touchdowns. Over 150 yards. I mean Robert Woods playing, fantastic too. Um,
Yep.
I mean they are a dangerous team. It's gonna be interesting to see who comes out on top of that NFC West conference. I know the Rams right now are sitting at 7-0, but I think the Rams next time they play them, they could win it, and it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Who takes first in that division.
No, I could definitely see them coming in first, especially that game coming up with Arizona. I think that's week. What is that? Week what? I just saw it too, and I just blew. Yeah, Rams. They have in week 14. It's the Monday night game, 8:15 p.m. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one on ESPN. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, looking at that first one, they had the 37-20. Murray did pretty well, but Edmonds, they were rushing the ball very well, and that's what I think
Mhm.
Arizona really needs to continue to do is rush that football. The win against Houston was pretty easy. Um, Mills was terrible. Kyler had a pretty efficient game, 20 for 28. Edmonds also leading the league or leading the rushing attack, but Zach Ertz, right, comes in, leads them in receiving yards with the
Played well.
66. The one touchdown, yeah, it's a good acquisition for them. They needed a tight end with their guy getting injured. Was it not Max Williams? I forgot who their tight end that got injured, but yeah, I mean DeAndre obviously, you know, hasn't had the greatest year, but he's still DeAndre Hopkins.
Mhm.
Christian Kirk. They have a lot of different passing options. It's crazy how many wide receivers they have that you could see them scoring and going from there. But and then
I
James
was say
Conner, he just continually gets rushing touchdowns.
I say that's the thing with that offense too. I mean, DeAndre doesn't have to be DeAndre because
No.
of all the other weapons that they have. Which is nice. It's I don't know which offense I'd rather see if I'm a defense. If I'd rather see the Cardinals or if I would rather see the Rams. I think I'd rather see Stafford, and have that, big
because
play,
the
um,
not being able to
because
rush the ball.
yeah, because of trying to contain Kyler
Yeah,
Murray. Um,
yeah.
I mean,
No, that's
that's
definitely a
that's
good point.
that's it's one scary team to face, and you know, so how far do we think they can go before they lose?
Ooh, well,
I
let's
mean, I
see.
know they
They
have a big
have,
game. They have a big game this week against Green Bay, so I mean
yeah,
that'll be a good test.
that's a big test. Yeah, then they at San Fran. San Fran's played pretty bad. They lost obviously to Colts
Mhm.
on Sunday night versus Carolina. Carolina's turning the wrong direction. Darnold. They're actually talking about trading for Deshaun Watson now.
It's
At
crazy.
Seattle, I don't think Russ will be back for then, so they'll be playing Geno. The bye week at week 12, and then at Chicago, and then versus LA. So I mean, you're realistically looking, if they beat Green Bay, they could go undefeated up until week 14 when they face
Yeah.
LA again. And then even then, after that, at Detroit versus Indy, at Dallas is going to be a tough game, and then versus Seattle. That's really cool. That'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah,
But
so
they
they
have a lot of talent.
might go 14-3. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, after them missing the playoffs last year, obviously they were on the cusp of making the playoffs. Yeah, but who would have thought that they'd have a start like this and would be this, potent?
Yeah, but it's crazy. Look at their offense, right? QB Kyler Murray, running back Chase Edmonds, James Conner. You have DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore, Andy Isabella. You have Zach Ertz. Obviously, Max Williams, I was right. He was the one that got injured, tight end. Their line
Hmm.
is, decent. They have a bunch of ex Giants: Kelvin Beachum, Justin Pugh. Um, but their line's been doing pretty well, and you don't really have to block as long as Kyler's running around all over the place.
Yeah.
But that defense, J.J. Watt, what's his name is still Chandler Jones at the weak side linebacker spot. They have a good nose tackle in Lawrence. Um, Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, who I liked and Sam liked too. Uh,
Hmm.
and then their cornerbacks, Byron Murphy, Robert Alford's done pretty well for them. Buda Baker is an awesome
Buddha.
safety.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, this team's good. Matt Prater's their kicker, who's had a pretty good year. Uh, okay. We talked about Watson being open to many teams, Panthers being the latest to pursue the quarterback. Not a raving endorsement for Jimmy Garoppolo. Shanahan saying he guesses that he's going to stick with Garoppolo as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, the team that I was pretty high on in San Fran has not looked very good at all. Um,
No,
maybe they're missing their defensive coordinator.
and I also think it's also that offense too. I mean, obviously you have Kittle out as well. He's a big part of that offense. I mean,
Yep.
Garoppolo. I think both of us are, think the same thing, that he hasn't looked that good, as a starting quarterback. I think throughout his career, for the most part, he's always been more of a, I don't even want to say game manager, because
Yeah.
he turns over the ball all the time. Um,
Yeah.
but I do think that he should be the starter still until, give Trey Lance a little bit more time to learn. I mean, I know he had a couple starts and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that,
he's looked
but
bad too. Yeah.
yeah.
Looked like a rook.
So let him play, and then obviously you're not gonna be resigning him or anything like that. You'll have Trey Lance for next year. Go from
Yep.
there. But I thought it was also a big game for the Colts. They looked really good. Jonathan Taylor, I thought played well.
Yep.
Wentz has been decent. I
Yep.
think last game was
He
just obviously with the
has
weather and stuff like that.
Wentz wears like Kevlar. He looks like he is like head to toe in like all this protective gear, and it's
Hmm.
funny to see him. But I was just thinking, we talk about Zach Wilson, and his shitty play, and looking at the rest of the quarterbacks in this class. I mean, listen, there's got a
No,
lot
they
of guys with
all played
talents,
bad.
but yeah, Lawrence has played horrible. Fields has played horrible. Lance has played horrible. Mac Jones has had spurts where he's been really good, but then he's also had
Hmm.
flashes of being a rookie. Um, you know, I'm trying to think that, last year you had Burrow looked great until he got hurt. Justin Herbert was awesome. Every year you seem to have a quarterback that steps up in the rookie class and
Yeah.
seems to do pretty well. This might be the year where there's a bunch of aberrations because it's not looking good for this quarterback class. Not long term, but just this season.
Yeah,
Um,
and I do think that if whatever quarterback would have stepped into that Patriots offense would be
yeah,
doing as well as Mac Jones is doing. I think
yeah,
if
maybe
Wilson
even
stepped in
better.
there, Fields, yeah. That's just a product of that system. Which is kind of
Yeah, but
ironic because you would think, with Shanahan at the helm, um, that Trey Lance would be doing a little bit better. Obviously, Nagy, being the play call in Chicago, you were kind of expecting not the greatest of things, and then obviously as a Jets fan, we were hoping that Mike LaFleur was going to be a guru with Wilson in this new offense, but that hasn't turned out. So,
yep.
um, yeah,
Um, Quickly, just on injuries, Wilson obviously PCL strain. We said he's at 2 to 4 weeks. Patrick Mahomes cleared his protocol. They actually held him out of the rest of the game because they just figured he needed a break. But looks like he will be practicing and playing this week, and all should be good with him. Um, I just wanted to go over quickly before we head out. Right, the Thursday, coming up this week. We usually are on Thursdays, but uh, the new slate will be Thursday, Green Bay at Arizona. It's going to be a very good game. Um, I look forward to that one a lot. Actually, I think it'll be
it's
fun
gonna be a
to
great
see
game.
what Arizona has. Uh, who would you take? You think it's going to be Arizona?
I mean, I'm repping my Green Bay Packers, so I mean,
Yeah,
I have to go with them. Second
yeah.
favorite
I
team should
think
be my
goes down
first.
there and does well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
it'll be a really good game.
Carolina at Atlanta, terrible. Miami at Buffalo, also terrible. Buffalo should be killing them. San
Yep.
Fran at Chicago, battle of once promising defenses and hopefully promising quarterbacks. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's a dumpster fire. Um,
I mean,
Philly at Detroit.
Steelers are. Oh yeah.
There's some.
Sorry, go
These
ahead.
first 5 games are real bad.
Yeah, it only gets better too. Keep going down the list.
Yeah, Tennessee at Indy, which I would have thought would have been, in the beginning of the season, a pretty good matchup, but Tennessee should roll over Indy. I do like Indy's running game, though, as
Mhm.
well as Tennessee's, obviously. Uh,
Yeah,
Buff, Cincinnati at New York. I mean, Joe Burrow is going
it's
to slaughter.
it's basically a bye week for the Bengals.
Yeah, good for them. L.A. Rams at Houston. That's one-legged man in an asking contest. Um, New England
I
at
think that
L.A.
that'll be a decent game. I think. Just
Yeah,
with that defense.
yeah, I would think that LA would get back on the winning track.
Mhm.
And I love Justin Herbert a lot. Um, Jacksonville at Seattle. Oof. Um, wow. Washington at Denver. These are really bad matchups. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Tampa at New Orleans actually has some cachet, especially we'll see what happens with Seattle here. They're winning 10-7 in the third. Kamara just they're giving him the ball because Jameis obviously is Jameis. Um, Dallas at Minnesota, which actually I think is going to be a pretty good game. That Sunday night football. Um, I I think that Dallas is going to get the win, but I could
Yeah.
see that being an entertaining game.
I say Vikings have been a little disappointing.
Yeah,
They've looked good in spurts, and then they've had just lopsided kind of play. And I mean, I would agree. I think the Cowboys obviously with that offense beat them down, but um, they're a team that's been kind of disappointing.
yeah. And then the Monday night game, New York Giants at Kansas City. I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised. The buys this week are Vegas and Baltimore, and you had 6 buys this week. Why wouldn't you
yeah,
take 2
it doesn't
teams,
make
make it
sense.
4 this week and 4 next week? The scheduling
Yeah,
sometimes is just ridiculous. Um,
yeah. I
and
guess that
obviously,
obviously that all deals with the stadiums and
eh,
stuff like that. But
I mean, because this week, right, your buys were Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, LA Chargers, and Jacksonville. I mean, first of all, for fantasy purposes, and I know we're not a fantasy football show, but for fantasy purposes, this week sucked because there were a lot of good players, especially running backs that were out this week.
Yeah, only
Between
I
say
say I
between
only
Zeke,
lost 1 out of 5, so I somehow did
nice,
well. I survived it.
yeah, between Zeke, Cook, Najee Harris, Eckler, I mean, and even James Robinson, that's a tough slate. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this upcoming week. For a couple of games here. I'm looking forward to seeing the Jets get slaughtered again. Tickets as low as $18 on at MetLife at East Rutherford, according to ESPN. So
You
go
want
see the
to
Jets
go?
yeah. We should podcast from there.
We can see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
I mean,
That'll be
that's fun.
nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is just so much fun to watch. Once again, one of the players I wanted the Jets to grab in the draft, as opposed to grabbing a quarterback. But neither here nor there. I'm going to keep putting that out there because I've been staunchly against what's happening, and it's doing exactly what I thought it would.
I say him
But
and Kyle Pitts had a nice game too this
yeah, Kyle
week.
Pitts. Yeah,
Played
I
really
mean,
well.
Sam, are you around? You want to, you come in? We'll do some trivia, and we'll just talk about. I mean, Sam actually didn't really talk much about his Giants game, but um, I
He's
think that
hiding just as much as us.
I know. Um, but I did think that was a good win. I know it's a bad team that is Carolina Hurricanes, Carolina Panthers. You had the safety. I think the score at halftime was 5-3.
Was it 5-3?
Yeah, 5-3 Giants. You had the penalty on Sam Darnold that enforced the safety, and you had the 2 field goals. And from there, the Giants came back in the second half. They grabbed the 2 touchdowns, one by Booker and then one by Dante Pettis from Daniel Jones. And then they get the other 2 field goals. Graham Gano's looked really good. He had the 53-yarder, he had the 49-yarder. He's had a really good season for the Giants. And, just once again, a team that, Giants are obviously doing much better than the Jets are, but you just see promise in some of the stuff that they do where the other end, they just don't. I mean, I know the Booker's in and Booker in, Saquon's out, and, they have injuries to their wide receiving crew. I don't think they were without Kenny Golladay. But just another one of those instances where you look across the river, or you look up and down the eastern seaboard and at all these teams, and you would much rather have their situations than,
Yeah.
Who knows?
I say
but
just real quick on Jamar Chase. I mean, he might break Randy Moss's
rookie
records. He's on
So
pace
what is he at?
for almost so he's has 754 yards. He's averaging 170 yards a game. Moss's rookie year, he had 1,313 yards. The big thing is the 17 touchdowns. Chase has 6, so that's
not gonna
for
happen.
sure going to be tough. But I mean, he's having a hell of a rookie year right now. And that man is
17
incredible.
touchdowns. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
it's insane.
17 touchdowns? I mean,
It's
16
insane.
game slate, and he's averaging over 1 a game. And
Yeah.
Jamar Chase might hit the actual yardage mark, but I don't. That might never be broken. 17 touchdowns as a rookie. That is just absolutely.
No, it's amazing though. But Chase, man, he's having a year.
Did I just lose you again?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You hear me?
I thought I went blank. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, we're waiting on Mr. Wu. I think he's getting some stuff going. But yeah, I mean, I think I just saw that Devontae Adams is now on COVID-19 list. Apparently they placed wide receiver Adams on COVID-19 list, so that's not good. We talked about the Flacco news, and that's just a bad trade in general because they didn't want to sign him. Oh my
That's just
god.
it. Like, I just don't get that. Just sign Cam Newton. Why waste a draft pick? You're literally just having
Yeah.
somebody in there. Clearly, you didn't care about a veteran quarterback in the room anyway at the start of the season.
Josh
So
Johnson.
why do you care now?
I mean, so at first I didn't really like the whole Josh Allen thing, and then I don't remember who I heard this from, but Josh Johnson's on the practice squad, but that's because he got beat out by Mike White, and Josh Johnson still is a veteran presence in the room because he's in there every day and he talks to the quarterbacks and stuff. But yeah, you want someone in there that can like relay daily and game by game, situation by situation. Like, what has Josh Johnson done? Right? Like,
has he ever started? I don't think I've ever
no,
heard of him.
I think Josh Johnson started. Yeah, he just not. He's not good. I don't know if you saw this while we're waiting. The Tom Brady 600 TD ball. Did you see this on yesterday?
Oh yeah.
The fan got it and basically like gave it up to the security guy and
Equipment manager.
And he was told that he would just give him like another game ball and like a signed jersey or something. And
So
even the guys on the announcers, but I'm saying even the announcers on TV at the time were like, "Man, that guy just got ripped off."
Yeah, that
I know
ball's
it's
worth
come
like
out later.
6 figures, and apparently got like $1,000 worth of gift cards to the team store. Who cares about that?
Yeah,
I'd be like,
Brady
give me season tickets for life or something.
Yeah, Brady said he'll get something nice in return. Mike Evans, when he gave him the ball, was actually like, and they went over to talk to him later. He's like, I didn't know.
I didn't realize.
But
that's surprising me too that he didn't realize that. Like, come on, you gotta know that you're he's close to breaking that record or having that record.
Guys, here's my advice to you guys. Anytime security comes around asking for the memorabilia, you take it and you run.
Yes.
Oh
yeah, forget about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have negotiated whatever. You know what? Do you know who deserves that 600 ball? It would have been great if Brady took that 600 ball and gave it to the kid that had that sign. Tom Brady helped me beat brain cancer. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah. Give it to that kid. That would have been that would have made Tom Brady the greatest of all time. But right now, Joe Montana is still up there.
So they actually have a list of what he got. So his name is Brian Kennedy. He got 2 signed Brady jerseys, a helmet signed, another jersey autographed by Mike Evans, and Evans's game-worn cleats. He also got a pair of season tickets for the remainder of 2021, all of 2022, and $1,000 credit to the official team store. So, I mean, it's a pretty good haul, but yeah, you lost probably $100,000.
So the question is,
$200,000.
Does that guy get season tickets, or does that guy get tickets to the playoffs too, or is it just season tickets to? Like that's also another thing. I'd be like, yo, I want playoff tickets as well. Like if you guys go to the Super Bowl, I want
Super Bowl. I want Super Bowl.
Yeah, because then you sell those bad boys and you make some money off of it. But I mean, yeah, he lost out on a ball that's 6 figures long. That's something. All right, you guys want want to do some trivia?
Trivia and then head out of here. Yep.
All right, so obviously it's a perfect segue because we're talking about Brady. So Brady obviously reached career TD pass number 600. He ended the day with 602 touchdowns. We'll see if he gets to 700. If he stays in the league or whatever. But so who is the fastest to get to 500 touchdowns?
Peyton, right?
Yeah, so Peyton did it in 266 games. He's third right now, obviously, on the all-time list. Breeze had 571. Did that in 287 games. And then Brett Favre with 508 did in 302 games. So
yeah, Peyton's
interesting.
Yeah, Peyton's touchdown to game ratio is better than Brady's. So suck it, Tom Brady.
If only the neck.
Yep. Take her home, Sam.
Oh. Well, College football's over for me. But thank you to Daniel Jones. I still have the NFL. On any given Sunday, anything can happen. Make your picks for your suicide pool leagues or whatever. That's what I'm going to do. This is Football Prime.